Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to be looking at Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, it's the same slipcase with the single disc. Nothing too spectacular. So, in this movie, the plot of this movie was the Transformers had been to Earth before. And I was like, okay, whatever. And apparently the Fallen and the Primes had built a sun harvester, which is now hidden on Earth. And that sun harvester would be able to essentially do what the Allspark could have done had they not destroyed it in the first movie. Oops, spoiler, sorry. You don't care. You guys have seen these, I'm sure. And so they're going to repower their people using the sun harvester. Now, it's a better plot than the first one, I thought. Everyone's on a rush to try and, Decepticons are trying to find it so that they can harvest the sun. And the Autobots are trying to make sure that the Decepticons don't find it. They're trying to figure out everything that's going on, but they're also trying to get them not to find it so that they can not destroy the world, because that would, be unfortunate for all parties involved. So yeah, that's the basis of the plot. A lot more. See the name here? Transformers. There's a lot more Transformers in this movie, and they have a lot more scenes, and they actually have a little bit more story arc in them. Not just, oh, okay, it's time to fight, let's go. They had more of a plot in here, and the humans were involved in figuring out the plot, and that was a good use for the humans. I thought all the characters in this movie did a much better job. And everyone says this movie was bad, but I actually like it a lot more than I liked the first movie. I'm actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. I saw this thing 4 times in theaters in 3 days. Do the math there. I really like this movie, and not only that, but I had collected a few of the original movie figures, but not many. It was just kind of like, eh. But as soon as I saw this the first time, the first thing I did is I stopped by Walmart, found a whole case of Transformers still in box, in the case. Hasn't been opened and put on display yet, and I just opened it up and took it to the front. It's like, I'm buying everything in this box. That's how much I really like this movie. I still have problems with it, but to an extent, I kind of forgive some of the problems because of how much I enjoyed this movie. A lot of people just cannot get past the twins and Devastator, but I can, and I'll tell you more about that, why I can, in the spoiler section of this video. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I really liked this movie. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of great scenes. So we're actually gonna spoilers. Let's get into it. It starts off with Optimus Prime being a badass, and him and Ironhide take down Demolisher, I think it was, and Optimus takes him down real quick. Just beats the fuck out of him, and then he walks up and he's like, any last words, and he says something about the Fallen coming, and Optimus Prime just shoots him point blank in the head. I never thought. Granted, I've seen Optimus kill things before, and I'm always happy when he does that. I've never seen Optimus Prime execute someone, because that's what it was. Dude was down. He wasn't getting back up. They could have arrested him. They could have put him in some sort of storage bin and interrogated him. No, Optimus executed the motherfucker. That was awesome. we also got Sideswipe coming out of nowhere with the RC twins, and cut, I think it was Sideways. Yeah, he cut Sideways in half, and he said the cheesy line, "Damn, I'm good." But it actually worked for him because that was pretty good. You also get the first glimpse of the twins in the ice cream truck mode, which I thought was pretty funny. Seeing two Transformers make one ice cream truck, because they are so small. So that's and apparently that's what's been going on forever, for a while. The Transformers and the humans are working together to fight off small Decepticon incursions here and there. All right, I'm okay with it. I thought it was good. Let's see. And the fact that we have a really nice long Autobot versus Decepticon battle sequence at the beginning of the movie, unlike the first movie where we had one Decepticon versus army guys. So yeah, and then Sam's trying to get away from the whole Transformer thing and go to college, which of course lots of screaming, stupid stuff. Lame stuff, and then he touches the shard of the Allspark and gets something put into his mind, which was weird because the Decepticons had a bigger shard and it didn't do that to them. So I don't know, but the Decepticons end up reviving Megatron with their shard. So Megatron's back and not very happy, so he gathers his forces and he starts doing his shit. He's prepared. He knows that he wants to get the human. Not only does he want revenge on him, but it also turns out he's got, he knows where all the stuff is subconsciously. So that was a great plot point. I enjoyed that. There's a reason for him to go after the human, not just random circumstances. So that was cool. And then he, let's see. Then there's a great fight scene between Optimus Prime versus Grinders, Starscream, and Megatron. And Optimus even says, "I'll take you all on." And you did a pretty good job on it. I mean, he beat the fuck out of Starscream with his own arm, rips Grinders' face in half, and then he was doing pretty good against them all. Megatron got a sneak attack in at the end because Optimus was trying to look for the human, and killed Optimus Prime. So, and we all knew he was going to come back. But the final sequence, though, Sam finally finds the Matrix. You got a full-on Decepticon assault. The Autobots are trying to fend them off. I thought it was a great little fight sequence. It was cool because the Decepticons are here, Autobots are here, and Sam is over here, and he's got to get to the Autobots. So he's got to sneak through Decepticon attack force to get to the Autobots, which was a great little sequence. I enjoy stuff like that. I enjoy people being caught behind the enemy lines and trying to sneak back. I enjoyed the whole, they're hiding in the house and just trying not to make any noise because the little Transformer Insecticons are flying through the little holes in the wall. I really enjoyed stuff like that. And the whole plot behind the fact that the ancient Egyptians and the ancient pyramids were built to hide the sun harvester. That was awesome. I think we probably would have noticed that by now, but you know what I mean. So stuff like that was just great. Then let's see. Sam puts the Matrix into Optimus and revives him. Fallen comes out of nowhere, grabs the Matrix to turn on the Sun Harvester. Optimus is up, but he's still hurt. I like that. It didn't just magically fix him. It just brought him back to life, and he's still hurt. Jetfire ends up killing himself and says, "Take my parts," and then we get the Jetwing Optimus Prime. That was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that, the sequence when he's getting the armor on, and then he's got the armor and he's just like, "Let's roll," and he flies in there. He beats the fuck out of Megatron in like 2 seconds flat. And then he starts fighting the Fallen, and of course my favorite scene of the entire movie franchise is when he give me your face. I'm sure a lot of people really say that, but I mean, that was awesome. And then he puts his hand through Fallen's chest and just crushes his spark. That was so awesome. I mean, me and my roommate Tom, when we first saw that in theaters, we were just like watching a fight scene. We were like, "Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good." Yes. I mean, that's the Optimus Prime I want. Not the first Optimus Prime. This one was hands down just incredible. I really enjoyed that. Sorry, my chair's not. It's being weird. So I enjoyed that. You got Bumblebee, who starts actually doing a little bit better in this one. I kind of like that a little bit. That he's kind of becoming more of a warrior. And you see him de-spine Ravage. That was sick. That was so sick. I love that. And at the very end, Starscream's talking to Megatron, and he's like, "Not to call you a coward, sire, but sometimes the coward survives." And they take off. I really, really liked that. The things that I didn't really like was the twins. A lot of people don't like the twins because they're considered racist by the way they act and talk, but I disagree. I mean, I'm not one to really say if I find it racist. I think all the Transformers are based off of characters from, or they base their vocal patterns off of watching TV, and apparently, I would say the twins liked people like Flavor Flav, who acts and talks like that. So while I never enjoyed Flavor Flav because of the way he acts and talks, because they do it too. I don't know how I can phrase it. It's just, I'm not black, so I guess I can't really take offense to it, but I don't. I mean, they're just product. I was surprised that people didn't get more offended at the first one, where Jazz is clearly black and he's the clearly token black guy that gets killed off at the beginning of the movie. That first fight sequence fight sequence, he's the only Autobot that dies, and he's the only one that acts like he's a black guy. I'm surprised that they didn't take more of that. I thought the twins were highly irritating and annoying, and I understand why some people didn't like them. But at the end, when they are the only two fighting Devastator and are actually holding their own, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I kind of wanted to go. I did. I went out and bought a Skids and Mud Flap that night because of how awesome they did in that sequence. So I mean, I don't know. I guess some people can find it racist, but I think he was just. I mean, it's pretty clear that they're just basing him off of characters that are already in existence. So, you know, kind of like Optimus Prime is more of a John Wayne type character, and Ironhide's more of a like Clint Eastwood, I would say. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Let's see. The other problem I had was Devastator. To an extent, I mean, it's pretty clear that, you know, I mean, we're G1 fans here. I think we all are, and we're all used to see Devastator as 6 robots that can go from vehicle to robot that can combine into one Gasol, and that's what we're used to. But once you get that out of your mind and think that Devastator is actually just one being throughout 6 different vehicles that they all combined into one, you know, then it makes more sense why they're one Devastator's here and the Constructicons are over here. But also like why it just makes some sense when you think of it that way. Not a lot of sense, but it makes some. So yeah, I mean that was Devastator getting killed by one cannon shot. That was where I had problems with it. I thought it would have been cool if Skids and Mudflap would have finished him off. Because they were doing pretty good job. I mean, at one point you thought Mudflap got eaten, and he comes kicking out of the face. He's like, in your face. I enjoyed that fight sequence, especially because of the way they were talking and acting. Because they were acting like that they could kick some ass, and that they, you know, were talking shit as they were doing it, and they were actually doing it. I mean, it was fun. But then they just disappeared. I mean, literally, they were on the screen fighting Devastator in one scene. We flip back to the other fight sequence, and then when it goes back to Devastator, he's climbing the pyramid. And just Skids and Mudflap are gone. And then there's the Michael Bay joke of the ball sack. That was stupid. That was stupid. So, the RC triplets, that was stupid too. I think they got killed, but they don't really make it clear. Who knows? They don't show back up in the next movie. Which, you know, again, I would think people would make more of a deal of that. The only girl Transformer to come out in the movie series is just getting blown to pieces here and there, and just is weak, pathetic. I mean, they were weak and pathetic. I mean, they couldn't fight Sideswipe. The 3 of them could not fight Sideswipe, or Sideways, and they had to call Sideswipe in to finish him. I would say if I was a girl, I'd probably take offense to that. Okay, so 3 girls can't take over one guy, so they have to call another guy in to fight the guy because girls can't beat guys. That's what I got from stuff like that. So it's like, rather than the way these guys talk, I take more offense on the way some other Transformers are actually doing things. Yeah, and then there's that part where, you know, a lot of people had problems with the twins when Sam was like, hey, you know, did you see this? Do you know what this is? And they're like, oh yeah, that's ancient Cybertronian. Well, do you know what it says? And they're sitting there like, we don't read. And they said we don't read, but I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't read. And they can't read ancient Cybertronian. I can't read ancient Greek. I wouldn't take it. It said something. So, and even when they find the Decepticon to translate it, Wheelie, he knows what it is, but he can't read it. Just like the twins couldn't. Just like Bumblebee couldn't. I mean, why? Yeah, if there's 4 guys in the room and one of them's black, and none of the 4 guys can read ancient Greek, and we pointed out, does that mean that we're being offensive to the black guy because he can't read ancient Greek, even though there's 3 white guys in the room that can't read it either? I don't know. I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey here. I just thought it was annoying that everyone picked on that aspect of the movie to focus all this negative attention towards. When I thought it was a lot of fun movie. And I also want to mention the dad, Sam's dad. That scene near the end of the movie when he's like, where he's trying to go with Sam. Sam's like, no, I got to do this by myself. And his dad's like, you come back. Oh man, that was some good acting there for like 20 seconds. But I mean, he did a good job conveying a parent that was afraid to lose his son. I thought that was great. So anyway, so there you go. Revenge of the Fallen. I say 9 out of 10. A lot of people didn't like it. I mean, the movie reviewer I always watch, Jeremy Johns, he does a great job. But I mean, his first movie review was him hating Revenge of the Fallen. I enjoyed it.